So when I first heard about Sedona, it was because alien spaceships actually came up into the sky and an entity came through me and told me that there was an interdimensional portal in the center of all of the Sedona Vortexes that I was meant to come and work with. So now I live in my car to be here. And I love it. Wow, that's quite the opening statement for a public YouTube video, huh? Jeez. Welcome to Vibes and Frequencies. My name's Nathan, and I do make videos to help people to be the most powerful expression of themselves. And my most powerful expression is 100% in Sedona, and for all my subscribers and friends who have been following my journey, it's pretty evident that I'm a completely different person here in Sedona. And this takes place for a lot of different reasons that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about the metaphysical energy in these vortex points in Sedona, and what this actually feels like to be here, and how this influences the kind of energy work and things that I do in my own life, because there is a massive awakening taking place on Earth right now. That's true. That's truth. Like, I'm sure that you've noticed if you found this video. And a lot of us waking up are being drawn and finding ourselves in Sedona. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about this, right? So if you're curious about the energy of Sedona, let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I want to show you is that this, right up, well, let me see if I can get it better. Okay. This over in this direction where you could see my finger pointing is Boynton Canyon. So this is one of the vortex points. Right now I'm kind of kicking it in a kind of cave thing here up on the cliff because it is kind of raining on and off here today. Totally worth it though with the cave and everything, right? So science actually is able to show with instruments that are able to measure magnetic fields that there is actual magnetic fields being created by these vortex points. And they can show the change in the magnetic fields as soon as you get within a certain radius of these actual points. Now, what does this mean? Well, that's all the science I got for you in this video, because the rest is an experience that's real to me, right? And that's real to a lot of us that are here in Sedona right now. So Sedona has power. Sedona has power to it, and I experience an increase in my psychic abilities. I increase a massive increase in synchronicity, things like this, right? People who are doing work with crystals often will find themselves in Sedona, will experience a lot of massive transformation and integration of energies, and there's a lot of alien contact that happens here. I see... It sounds ridiculous, I know, but I see spheres of light, almost like gyroscopes. Like, they're constantly in movement, and yet they're completely, like, stationary, but they're, like, moving around all over the place. You'll see crazy stuff in the sky here in Sedona. Now, let's talk about truth here for a moment, because I want this video to be really real. When I say that aliens came to me and told me to come to Sedona, that's not actually true. Right? That's not actual truth. That is my experience in my life unfolding. It's essentially a fantasy novel. It's my story. When we are legit and we take ourselves out of the equation and we stop giving meaning and defining things, then you can find yourself looking at this situation and saying, what is actual truth? Actual truth is that there were weird lights moving around in the sky that I have never seen before. And we're doing crazy geometrical patterns together, and they were these glowing spheres of light. That is true. That was happening. That had nothing to do with me. That was up in the sky, right? Simultaneously, I had an epiphany of a place called Sedona, and I felt that there was a portal here I was meant to work with. That's what's true. I had an epiphany. Simultaneously, there were lights in the sky. So in this same kind of way that we can explain truth, that's how I want to go about explaining the power of Sedona and the energy and things here. Because there are a lot of fragments when it comes to the way that we feel about things and the way that our experience is created, right? Truth. Sedona is beautiful. My experience. I am a heightened, more powerful person here, right? So we got to keep these things in mind, you know? Gosh, it really is so beautiful here. So synchronicity, When we talk about synchronicity, a lot of people have different opinions on what synchronicity actually is. And at the end of the day, again, when we're talking about truth, it's what it means to you. It's your experience. It's what it feels like to you. My opinion is that synchronicity is a brick to the face of oneness. All is one. Everything is connected. So when you're seeing all these synchronicity numbers and you're seeing the same exact things over and over again and you're having all these OMG kind of moments, it's literally a brick to the face of reality going, hey, I am you. You are reality. Reality is you. It's this whole kind of one experience. And in Sedona, as soon as I enter Sedona, it's ridiculous. All of this synchronicity really blows up because that is a massive thing that takes place for me here in Sedona, is a feeling of oneness. Now, in the spiritual community, a lot of people talk about this. A lot of people talk about oneness. And this is something that we can understand and say, okay, we are all together, right? Everything is one. This is an understanding. But it's very different when you feel it and you are it and you have integrated that fully. And when you're in Sedona, integration takes place on a much more rapid scale, it seems like. Now, again, I have no proof of this. This is my own experience. When I'm in Sedona, I integrate spiritual information, energy, new things that I'm working with rapidly because there is a portal here. There is a portal here. And let me go ahead now and talk about what this portal is. Now, again, I love how I keep saying this to you. Disclaimer, I have absolutely no proof for you of this. I literally just told you that aliens told me this, so, take it as you will. There's a portal here. And if you look at Sedona, you can see that we've got all these canyons and things coming up. And when we consider the fact that these are actually creating magnetic fields, well, that's interesting, but there's something else going on, and it is this shift in consciousness. So when I talk about the portal, it's really in effect, it's not a literal portal, like there's like big rune stones and you go and you put the crystal in the key and it opens up and then you shift to another dimension. It's not like this. It's an experience influencer. So normally we perceive that there is tomorrow and then the next day and then the next day and then the next day and then we had yesterday and the day before that, right? Life is this linear kind of experience as it unfolds. It's unfolding for us, right? But here in Sedona, what's interesting is I still have the concept of time. Like obviously this is taking place and our society functions with it. But the way that this portal feels is more like you're kind of positioned in one spot where you're not moving through time. It's actually almost like time ceases to exist. You're not moving forward. You're not moving backward. It's just everything has already happened, right? Like everything has already taken place. And it's like you can see it all in front of you and you can feel all this shifting. Now, this is really powerful for, like I said, for people who are integrating energies and things like this in their lives. Because a lot of times we get a new energy, like let's go ahead and say that you work with crystals or something. Let's go ahead and say you bring in this like new powerful crystal and you're working with it consciously and you're putting in this effort and you're practicing the energy and you're bringing that in, you're feeling the feelings, you're thinking the thoughts, right? Now we're talking law of attraction manifestation, right? There is a power here that takes us away from the fact of that we are trying to attract something to ourselves or that we need to create or that we need to be something. The energy in Sedona is like you just walk in through this layer, this invisible layer, and suddenly you've let go. Suddenly, it doesn't matter anymore. Suddenly, you don't need to feel like you need to be somebody. You just already are. And it's everything that you've ever done has already happened. And so in Sedona, there's this energy where instead of feeling the need to create, that you need to just like sit there and you need to do all this stuff and be super intense and like, productivity and all this stuff, it's different here. It's different here because it is. And I don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you why. I don't know, but it is. And I can actually hear in Sedona, I can actually hear. Not all the noise, but actual life, the real life unfolding. Now, the things that I'm talking about that Sedona feels like to me and the experience that I have here, it is very true. And I've experienced incredible momentum with my manifestations every time that I am in Sedona. But it's not because I have increased manifestation power here. This is at least my opinion, okay? I don't believe that this is actually what it is. Because I believe that we don't actually manifest things. Everything has already happened at once. Life has already happened. We are just experiencing it all unfolding. Right? So I don't need to manifest anything. Life is manifesting me. It's reverse. So in Sedona, I just get to sit here and enjoy life. And it's like watching the most beautiful movie unfold that I'm a part of ever. So it starts feeling like it's less of this kind of like rat race and more like you can just enjoy it, you know? So that's a really beautiful experience that I have here. When I really tried to be practical and, you know, honest and truthful about my experience here, I just feel very present. What does Sedona feel like? It feels like you're in Sedona. That's the truth. Now, here's the difference. When I'm in like Los Angeles, California, I don't actually feel like I'm in Los Angeles, California. My mind's going all over the place in different directions. I feel like my energy's all over the place, right? When I was in Costa Rica, I was all over the place. And when I'm in Sedona, I'm in Sedona. I am here, right now. And it's in this presence and this actual being here that all of these things we talk about, manifestation, psychic abilities, magic, right? All this kind of stuff, this is where all this stuff takes place. These aren't things to attract to ourselves. They're things that are already here in the present moment. So at the very end of the day, it is very possible that I just simply love Sedona so much, and this is part of my life path unfolding. This is where I am. I am here. I am in Sedona. And when you are where you are and you find yourself fully here and fully present, you'll experience all the things that I'm talking about in this video. And yet, massive waves of people feel the magic in Sedona. Massive waves of people will swear on their life to you that there is incredible power here. And I'll do it too. Because even though I've got a practical brain, you could probably tell. I like to, you know, talk about truth and simplify things and not get all too out there. But those things are still true. And huge quantities of people feel it, and we all experience it here. And if you've felt it, if you've been here and you've felt it, I would love to know what it feels like to you. You know, something else that's interesting. Tangenting, here you go. Here, check out more Sedona while I tell you this. Now, just like humans have chakra points, so does the Earth. Now, the chakra points of the Earth are kind of not argued about, but there's some different opinions on which chakra point is what and where they actually are. So, a lot of people believe, actually, that Sedona is the crown chakra of planet Earth. Now, let's go ahead and say that this is true, which I believe that it is, and it is true for me in that statement, right? Let's go ahead and say that this is just a blanket truth for everybody, though. What this means when you're in the crown chakra point of Earth is that crown chakra type energy is going to be very amplified and is going to be swimming around everybody here. Now, when we talk about crown chakra energy, we're talking about connection to God. We're talking about connection to source. We're talking about connection to oneness. We're talking about the place that trust and faith and letting go actually come from. So is it not slightly interesting? Is it not slightly interesting that the energy of Sedona feels like a massively cracked open crown chakra? Because I come here and I could just trust and I just let life unfold and I feel my connection to my God. I feel connection to source, right? I trust the universe and I fully believe in it here. And the very first time I decided that I wanted to explore life and live life as somebody who really trusts the universe, that's when the aliens came in the sky. That's how I got here. I love Sedona. I love it. To me, Sedona, honestly, is basically like just being on a giant piece of moldavite, which if you don't know what moldavite is a really high vibrational tektite crystal. Now, this has a lot of alien connections and things too, which again, inadvertently is certainly influencing my experience and my life unfolding. But if you haven't heard of moldavite and you love Sedona, you should check out moldavite because I'm telling you, the transformational vibrations that are taking place are so similar, right? It's like you got to have bread with your wine. Sedona's really beautiful. And if you haven't been here, I really recommend you come and just check it out for yourself. At the end of the day, if you found this video and you were interested to watch it, it's because you believe in the power of the vortex points, or you were curious. You're interested about Sedona, you know? Just come check it out. Let go of what everybody else says, forget about everything that I've said in this video, and just come and feel it for yourself, because that's what true power is. Listen to your life, listen to your experience, listen to your reality, and you'll hear your truth. And I do believe that that's what Sedona is encouraging in all of us, is to live our truths and to connect to them. Once again, my name's Nathan. I do make 3 videos a week. Definitely make sure to subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Peace out. Have a good one.